We're back with another season preview show, this time talking UNA cross country. The UNA cross country program heads into the fourth and final year of the Division I transition under head coach Jeremy Province, who began his career at North Alabama in year one of the Division I transition. Coach Province heads into year number 4 with 2 experienced rosters, starting with the men coming off of a 4th place finish in the ASUN Championships a season ago. They returned 7 runners while welcoming in 7 fresh faces. The women, meanwhile, returned 6 runners from a season ago while welcoming in 8 new runners off of a team that finished 6th at the ASUN Championships. This year, the UNA cross country programs will host 2 races while also hosting the NCAA South Regional Tournament in Huntsville, Alabama. It's certainly setting up for a big year for UNA cross country. In this preview show, we'll chat with head coach Jeremy Province. We'll get his thoughts on the schedule, the roster expectations as well. We also have 2 players there to join us. Let's get into it. We're talking UNA cross country in this preview show.
My whole life has been about making an impact. Not just on the field, but in the world around me. My high school Spanish teacher helped me find my true calling to educate and serve others all over the world. I used to think the biggest college was the best place to start, but my search brought me to North Alabama. At UNA, my story matters, and so does my calling.
We kick off this cross-country preview show chatting with the head coach, Jeremy Province, entering his 4th year. And Coach Province, it's hard to believe year 1 for you was the first year of the Division I transition. How fast have these last 3 years, 4 years flown by?
Yeah, it's went by really fast. Next thing you know, you're entering year 4, and you've got a group of guys and girls that you've primarily recruited. And but when you're having fun and you're surrounded by great people, that tends to happen. But so we're loving the process, loving the journey, and can't wait to get year 4 started here soon.
Let's talk about the evolution of this program the previous 3 years, from year 1 to year 3, heading into year 4. How far have both programs come?
Yeah, I don't think everything, just the progress we've made, is quantifiable in every aspect of it. Obviously, just looking on just simply looking at times and team averages and the awards and the accolades. Those things speak for themselves, but just even further, the culture and what these kids are doing in the community and in the classroom, those are the things that are really not quantifiable. You don't see all the time, like you do some of the other stuff. And so just tremendous amount of progress over the 3 years, and then obviously hoping to continue that into year 4.
Let's talk about what the men are coming off of. Probably the best season in recent years, finishing 4th in the ASUN Championships. In your time here at UNA, just how has the level of expectation changed among this program?
Right. I mean, each year you have to, you've got to set, reasonable expectations for your team, right? So we didn't come in year 1 saying we're going to win the conference tournament. We had to have a heart-to-heart conversation and learn and know and trust in the process that it takes to get to where we are now and to where we want to be this year. And so, yeah, it's been a process. It's been a grind. There's been ups, there's been downs, but I think that, we've done a great job as a coaching staff, and then just as a whole unit. The kids have really bought into what we're doing. They've trusted the process, and, the progress that we've made over these 4 years show that they believe in what they're doing, and they're continuing to fight and try to get, or at least move up in those conference standings.
Every year the women have had an all-conference finisher, and you're losing a runner in Kara Nix, a Muscle Shoals, Alabama native, who not only was an all-conference runner but also became UNA's first ever Division I female student athlete to earn academic All-America honors. And for an athletic department with such a rich tradition, what does it mean for Kara to earn that honor as a cross-country runner?
It's tremendous. Again, Kara has worked so hard at her craft, as a cross-country athlete, as a student. She's in started med school down at South Alabama right now. So no one was more deserving of that award than than Kara was. But her impact in the program, she's got a list of awards, and I think I told her this after she got the award, the All-American honors. She's got a whole list of resume of awards she's gotten from an academic and athletic standpoint. But I think just for our program, it wasn't just about her getting those awards. Obviously, that helped, put UNA's women's cross country team on the map. It's it's the impact she's had in the lives of the girls that were her teammates the past 2 to 3 years. And so that right there, her legacy will continue on at UNA, and because of the impact she's had on the younger girls who used her as a role model and used her as an example, and want to continue the tradition of excellence that she has set in the women's cross country program.
When we come back in this cross country preview, we'll jump into our roster breakdown.
It's bow time. This isn't just any chicken sandwich. It's the new Bo's Chicken Sandwich. We took our time perfecting this bold season hand-breaded certified Southern powerhouse. Pile that big league buttered milk crunch with crispy pickles and creamy mayo for a chicken sandwich so good.
Oh, this is so fucking good.
Nana will forget her table manners. Try the new Bo's Chicken Sandwich for $3.99. It's bow time.
We're talking roster with UNA head cross country coach Jeremy Province. Coach Province, let's start with the women's cross country team. You got 6 returnees, 8 freshmen coming in, 1 senior, 2 juniors, 3 sophomores on this roster. What's the youth movement been like with this program?
Yeah, so a lot of young, new faces on the team, but I have been very, very pleased with where we're at. We're 3 or 4 days into practice now, and it can get, a coach can get a little uneasy, a little stressed. You just don't know you don't know how the adjustment's going to be for those freshmen, but they have come in fit. They've looked really good so far in practice. They have connected well as a unit. There's been a ton of energy with that group. And so, that's really all you can ask for as a coach right now. Now, the experience will come as we start racing, but you got to have kind of those 3 things that we talked about are the most important things at this point. And so, right now, sitting here today, I have been very pleased with that group and excited to kind of see what happens as the season unfolds.
Last 3 seasons, you've seen 3 all-conference runners emerge on the women's side of things. This year, with so many opportunities, what's the competition going to be like to break into that top 5?
Yeah, it's really up in the air, and good or bad, you kind of like to know who you like to have some penciled in that you can count on, like we've had in the past few seasons. But right now, yeah, it's up in the air. But I don't think that's a bad thing. I think we have so much depth that it's actually probably we're in a better place now than we have been the last few years because like I said, we have so many girls, returners, new faces that are really just neck and neck, and they're fighting for a travel position. They're fighting to get in that top 5 to score for the team, and so yeah, we don't have that solid. We can pencil in number 1, number 2, number 3, or whatever, but we do have a ton of folks that are fighting and that are real close, that are neck and neck, and I think it's going to be a very competitive season for us from practice and when we start racing, and things will sift themselves out, and I do think we have a group that is we're going to come out and be very strong this year as a group.
Before we move on to the men, in just a little bit, we're going to hear from one of the female runners, Lily Humphreys. Tell us a little bit about Lily. Distance runner turned former sprinter. Tell us about Lily and what she means to the program.
Yeah, she has an interesting story. Ran sprints all through most of her high school, and then kind of figured out her senior year, I think, that distance might be the path that she should go with if she wants to run the next level. And she's one of those that has just been, she shows up every day and works hard and is always someone you can count on and is there for her teammates. Freshman year, she made the ASUN all-freshman team. So she came in and made it an immediate impact. And we saw a lot of progress in year 1. And then even last year, she was consistently one of our top 5 finishers for the team and played a major role in our women's conference finish last year. And so, and again, as a junior, now she has that experience. She's been around the program for a couple years now, and I think she's kind of, you can kind of tell at practice, she's kind of taking that leadership role in regards to, this is what practice is supposed to look like, and this is how we do things around here. She's really mentoring those girls in practice, and so I do think she's doing a very good job, and I'm excited to see how this season goes for her.
Let's flip over to the men, coming off the 4th place finish in the ASUN Championships. An even split, 7 returnees, 7 freshmen. Again, just 1 senior on the men's side of things. What's the balance like with the men?
Yeah, it's where it may seem that we are kind of in a similar situation with the women, with a lot of new faces. We do. We're an even split, got a lot of new faces. But those 7 guys that are coming back, you know, they've all been in the program for 2+ years, right? Or this is at least the second year for some of them. Like they know the ropes, and we've have guys that are returning that have, you know, really played a significant role in that 4th place team finish that we had last year on the men's side. And so, yeah, I think there's a lot of experience coming back, guys that have been successful, who have ran very, very well at meets for us, competed at a high level. And so that experience is only going to help those freshman guys, because we've got some guys coming in that have to, you know, they're going to be fighting for one of those top 5 spots on the team. And so I think having those returners who have that experience, who know what it's like to compete in a championship-style races, is really going to help those freshman guys come in and learn the ropes, not have any pressure to come in and do anything more than they need to do, but come in and just be a sponge, learn how we do things, and then hopefully as the season unfolds with some experience, they're going to start contributing as well.
Just a moment, we're going to hear from JJ Hibbert as well from Colorado Springs, Colorado. And what's it like having a runner in JJ who comes from a cross-country family?
Yeah, so JJ is just a super competitive guy, right? And I think it just comes from his background, and again, having siblings that also competed in cross country and track. But yeah, that competitiveness, you know, sometimes we have to tone it back a little bit, you know, but I'd rather have to pull back, I'd rather have to, you know, pull the reins back than have to, you know, kind of try to get somebody to want to set lofty goals and want to be successful and do well. So, but to that, yeah, he's one of those guys, he's always going to go compete, right? And he's always going to, he wants to do well as an individual, but I think he also understands the importance of, you know, the team atmosphere and having everybody, you know, believing in what we do, buying into the culture. And again, he's been here for a couple years. He knows how, you know, the process that we in how we do things around here in our cross country program. And so he's one of those guys that's, you know, super important to our team. And I definitely think that he's going to be a guy at the when we get to the conference championship who's going to compete very well.
Coming up next on our preview show, we'll chat with JJ and Lily.
Available interior work surface to work it out up front, plus the capability of available Pro Power on board to work it out in back. Tough this smart can only be called F-150. Introducing the all-new 2021 Ford F-150.
Next up, we're chatting with Lily Humphreys, a junior from Cedar Park, Texas. Lily, thanks so much for chatting with us in this cross-country preview.
Thank you.
Entering your 3rd season now at North Alabama, what have been some of your favorite moments so far?
Some of my favorite moments was my freshman year when I came in. I ran at the Florida State meet, and that was the first time I had broke 20, which was a big deal for me at the time, and still is. And then we've had just some really good meets and some really good practices that have gone well since.
So now heading into your junior year, you came in the 2nd year of the Division I transition, heading into the final year. How far has this program come since you arrived?
It's come really far. We've had a lot of great girls on this team and a lot of people coming in who have constantly pushed us, and it's just been really good.
6 returnees from a season ago. What's the experience level like with this bunch?
It's crazy. We all have been here since my freshman year, and then we've had 8 girls come in, so we have a lot of crazy talent coming in and constantly pushing us to do better every day.
Now tell us a little bit about the newcomers, the freshmen. How have they raised the level of competition with this team?
Even with them only being here a week, they've already set the bar pretty high. We had a time trial a couple of days ago, and it was our fastest team time trial yet. So the competition's going to be hard this year.
Now your journey into cross country is a little bit different. You came out as a track, as a sprint runner. Then you decided to get into distance running.
Yes.
What was that change like going from sprinting to distance?
The change was crazy, and honestly, I probably shouldn't have been able to make it because I sprinted for 6 years. I was going to go to college for the 400, and I switched to cross country my senior year. It's been tough, but I've really enjoyed it because I'm naturally better at cross country.
And what made you choose UNA?
I have family that's in this area, and my family came here, And it wasn't my first choice originally because everybody I knew went here. But then I reached out to Coach Province, and I just really like the team and the culture, and I like the city.
Let's talk about Coach Province. What does he do to make this program so special?
He really knows the training, and he knows how to coach, like running, since he constantly runs every day. And he just knows what we need to do to get better.
An exercise science major. Are there things you've been able to learn in class that have helped you running in meets?
Yes, I have taken some classes that have helped me know, like nutrition, what to put in my body, what to make sure I don't lose weight and muscle mass, and it's really helped me continue to run faster.
And exercise science, obviously your major. What is it that you want to do with that degree?
I'm thinking about going into coaching, and I'm just exploring other opportunities.
That's great. So last thing for you, coming up, good year of cross country. What's your expectations for this team?
I'm hoping for this team that we have a top 5, even a top 3 finish in conference. It would be amazing, and just to go out there and have fun and run fast.
Well, Lily, thank you for chatting with us.
Thank you.
My whole life has been about making an impact. Not just on the field, but in the world around me. My high school Spanish teacher helped me find my true calling to educate and serve others all over the world. I used to think the biggest college was the best place to start, but my search brought me to North Alabama. At UNA, my story matters, and so does my calling.
Welcome back. Next up, we're talking to J.J. Hibbert from Colorado Springs, Colorado, his 3rd year running cross country at North Alabama. J.J., thanks for talking with us. Colorado to Alabama. Take us through your journey to UNA.
Yeah, so I lived in Colorado for 10 years, ran cross country all through middle school and high school, and then I got a call from Coach Province out here in Alabama, and next thing you know, I was on a plane taking a visit, and ended up loving it and just staying here.
Now, Colorado, the altitude. Alabama, the humidity. What's it like running it, the differences between the two?
I would say personally, humidity is definitely worse. It's just a little harder to get used to, but once you kind of overcome that, get used to sweating a little bit, just being hot and miserable, altitude's got nothing on it.
Let's talk about your career at North Alabama. 3 times you finished in the top 10 in races. What have been some of your favorite moments so far?
Well, first off, my first top 10, which was the UNA's first home meet in a while, down in McFarland, was awesome. I think I got 8th, but it was just a great race, a great day. I think we won it as a team too. Another really good one was our last conference race this year, which we got 4th, and it was just a great race. Almost made all conference, but we had some really good performances out of our guys.
Let's talk about this team as a whole. Last year, you guys finished 4th in the ASUN, a very strong year. What's the growth been like for this program since you arrived as a freshman?
Oh, the growth's been amazing. We just developed really well as a team, really coming together, getting some really solid work in. It's been nice bringing in a lot of guys that want to work, be better, and just we've had such rapid improvement over the last couple of years that it's going to be amazing to see where we go.
A lot of returnees from last year as well, and you guys have brought in a strong freshman class. What's practice been like with you guys pushing one another?
Oh, it's been crazy. We have just so much like natural raw talent out of these new freshmen we got. We just doubled our team size, and we have some really stellar returners coming back, and it'll just be great to have those extra freshmen there to push us.
Give us some insight into the training. How much do you guys run a week?
So right now I'm running about 70 to 80 miles a week, and that's running once or twice a day. And if we want to make numbers a little bit bigger, in a year we run about 3,000, 3,500 miles, which is about from Seattle to Florida.
That's very impressive. Now, your head coach, Jeremy Province, he runs a lot. He's got a crazy streak of consecutive days that he's run. He's running the Boston Marathon. Yep. What's it like having a coach that's still so active to push you guys?
Oh, it's crazy. He really keeps us accountable because you go on a run, he'll be right there with you. You really can't slack off. You're always keeping us honest, and it's probably a reason why we're so accountable.
Now, fans might be interested to learn, you have a twin brother.
I do. He goes to school at Florida Tech. He runs cross country. If you looked at us, you'd never think we were twins or even related, but he's a really great guy.
And your sister runs cross country at Florida State. Your dad ran collegiately at Troy. Cross country, does it sort of run through your family?
Oh yeah, everyone runs. Even my mom, who's a swimmer, she gets out and runs too. So it's really just a big family sport.
Is that sort of why you got into it?
Yeah, that was a big reason. Me and my brother always loved competing, and one of the things we both found we were really good at was running. So our dad helped push us into it, and then ever since then, we've been competing.
JJ, what do you major in?
I'm going to be exercise science.
And what do you want to do with that?
One day I'm hoping to go to PT school.
That's great. Last thing for you, a lot of experience back on this year's team, coming off of a great year a season ago. What are your expectations?
I just expect we're going to have a lot of guys that are going to work hard, go for conference. Hopefully a top 3 finish this year would be amazing. We're having a lot of new teams come in, but it'd be great to see what we do.
JJ Hibbert, thank you for the time.
No problem.
It's bow time. This isn't just any chicken sandwich. It's the new Bo's Chicken Sandwich. We took our time perfecting this bold season hand-breaded certified Southern powerhouse. Pile that big league buttered milk crunch with crispy pickles and creamy mayo for a chicken sandwich so good.
Oh, this is so fucking good.
Nana will forget her table manners. Try the new Bo's Chicken Sandwich for $3.99. It's bow time.
Wrapping up our cross-country preview show with head coach Jeremy Province. And Coach Province, you guys ran 4 races in the spring. You're gearing up for the fall season. But how fresh is that spring season in the mind of all the runners as they get geared up to run this fall?
Yeah, well, hopefully it is fresh. You know, like I think this spring season was really good for us in regards to, you know, it is the best finish we've had on the men's side, as you know, at least since turning Division I and competing in the A side. And so in that aspect, like I hope that you know they still have that in the back of their minds, because while we did finish 4th and we've seen progress each year, that's exactly what we talk about and we want to see. You know, 4th is still not where we want to be. You know, so hopefully it is. You know, hopefully they have that in the back of their mind and it's fresh and I think it has been, because when we came back in our first practice, you know, everybody looked like, you know, they were excited to get started, excited about the potential of this team, and they came in fit, you know, and they've done their work this summer. So I think it has made a positive impact so far.
Let's talk about the schedule. There's some races we've seen on there before, some new races, some great competition. You guys are hosting a couple, but what do you make of this fall schedule?
Yeah, so it is. There are some very competitive meets in there, and you know, starting at, you know, we're going to kind of we start September 3rd with JSU. We're going to go down. It's a day trip down to JSU, and it's a little different. It's a 4K, 5K, so it's not our normal distance for neither the men or the women. But it's really just, you know, kind of, I don't want to use the term rust buster, but it's really, if cross country had exhibition races, that would be an exhibition. Like, we're just kind of seeing where we're at, get our shoes a little dirty, you know, in the first race of the year, and just get a race under our belt. But the next 2 we're hosting September 10th at McFarland Park, and we would love to see a great showing from our fans and our friends down at McFarland. The first year that we brought it back in 2019, it was a phenomenal experience. A lot of people were down there, so we're hoping we get that again on September 10th. There's a good crowd, a good amount of teams that are going to be there. And then the 17th, we're also hosting on the South Regional course in Huntsville, Alabama, and that's again a very competitive meet. You know, we have I think a handful of SEC teams that's going to be there, and several regional schools that are going to be there, and it's a fantastic venue. So those 2 are really the big ones early on. You know, we have a week off and we go to Fayetteville, Arkansas to compete in the Chili Pepper Festival. That is just always year in and year out a very highly competitive meet. A lot of great teams that are going to be there. And then, again, a week off, and then we go to pre-nationals. And, you know, pre-nationals is what it sounds like. It's a preview of the national championship course. There's going to be a lot of great teams there as well. And so, you know, there's really no, you know, when we're racing, it's going to be very competitive. And we kind of we have to get into that mindset with where we're at in our programs of making sure that when we go to these races, you know, we're ready. We're going to put our best foot forward, and you know, we don't get a ton of opportunities to race. So when we get those opportunities, you know, we need to treat it as a big meet for us, and we're mentally and physically prepared. And then after that, we have the ASUN championship meet, and so obviously we've talked about our goals as a team, and you know, that's, you know, October 30th. That's the main one on the schedule, and so by that time, hopefully we have our roster figured out, and we're physically and mentally ready to go for that race.
Now you guys will be hosting the NCAA South Regional Tournament over in Huntsville, Alabama. Now we can't compete because we're wrapping up the transition, but how big is it for this program to host this regional?
I just think it's a great opportunity, not only for us in our cross-country program to kind of be around that environment and be hosting, But I also think it's a great for our brand as an athletic department, as a university. I think it's great, just big picture, cross country in the state of Alabama, and specifically in North Alabama. It's a true championship race. It's the South Region Championship. This is how Division I teams, they have to get through this race to go to the national championship meet, right? And so there's going to be a lot of high caliber teams, a lot of great, nationally ranked teams that are going to be competing there. And so to really be able to get our brand out there and to be able to host a meet of this magnitude, I think is just great for everybody that's involved.
Last thing for you, Coach Province. The men and women, they're coming off successful seasons. Final year of the transition. What are your expectations for this final year?
Yeah, so compete well at conference. That's always the thing, and that is a very open-ended question, Ben, because it's a lot. The conference is so competitive at the top, right? You can have a little bit of an off day and fall from second to fifth or sixth in this conference, and so. But as we've talked about each and every year, we want to make progress. We want to go into that conference championship race knowing that when we step on the line, that we have an opportunity to compete and win a conference championship. If it's our day, if everything works out, hopefully we come out on top. But we want to know that when we get there, we belong to be there. And so, that's kind of the message that we're sending. We've got to work towards, hey, the conference championship is our goal. Like, we want to win an ASUN championship, but we can't get caught up in, if we don't win that's not a successful year. We just got to make sure we're making progress each day, each year, and if we can show up knowing that we have an opportunity or we feel like we belong and we have a chance to win it, then that's really all we can ask for.
Coach Province, we're looking forward to cross country season. Thank you for giving us your time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Ben.